Right now, the second presidential debate less than 3 hours away. Will Romney pull off a big win again? And is tonight more about style or substance? The calendar's against whoever loses tonight. There's not enough time, and those swing state voters, Congressman, they're looking for somebody, I believe, to convey as much as it's going to be about policy and as much as it's going to be about style and presence. They want some clarity. They don't want to just say the other guy stinks. They want to know who's going to do what in the next 4 years, and they want to know if the promises, if the rhetoric of them matches up to the reality. I think tonight's got a chance to be really substantive.
There's only so much you can do in a debate, and, you know, this is not new. You remember Gore and Bush. We have divided America. The political system, the election system, has divided America. So it's no secret that this is going to be a close race. But here we are. Now, is Obama going to come in as president, or is he going to come in as a president who's also a candidate? He didn't realize that when he was in that debate last week, he had to make his case as a candidate. Now, obviously, you got to look presidential.
Sure.
It's very easy to do when you are the president. Everybody knows that. But I think he forgot that he's a candidate. And maybe he got too used.
One person said to me, and I think it's exactly what you're hitting on, he didn't seem like he really wanted the job. And talking about the loophole specifically, you're a former CPA, and I'm not trying to bore our audience with too many numbers, but the idea that you can close the loopholes to pay for a 20% tax cut, nobody in their right mind says the numbers are there. In fact, the Joint Committee on Taxation, you were in Congress, you know, highly respected nonpartisan group, CBO said the same thing. At most, that would account, if you close every single loophole known to mankind, 4%. So I know I'm talking probably too deep here, but the point is he going to have a problem tonight, the governor, when he tries to lay out, you can have it all. We'll cut taxes, but don't worry, the bottom line of America will be fine. We'll give it to the top end.
He's not going to have a problem if he goes back and reminds the audience what President Obama promised 4 years ago. There was a debate in 2008. In that debate, he said, in my first term, I will reform Social Security and Medicare.
Congressman, that's
have you seen even any mention of changing maybe the ages or changing something else? Number
with
two,
all due respect, I'm coming back to the issue of he gave a plan, and the president didn't know whether to blank or go blank, but he heard an idea saying, hey, I'll cut. It is a strategy, but at the end, the public's got a right to know, or maybe to say, what am I getting if I vote for this guy, or if I vote for this guy?
Both sides have that strategy. What did Ryan say? Why didn't you give us any specifics on Social Security? You promised 4 years ago you would reform it. Obama's got to defend a record. He wants a second term. He hasn't made the case to the people that he deserves that second term. He came in promising so much.
But how about laying out a case to the American people for why you should be the man in the Oval Office?
But he's the president, and you got to say, why does he deserve a second term? He's got a record.
It should only be a referendum on Obama?
Of course not. But he has a record.
Let's talk about his record. Let's talk about his record.
Yeah, talk about his record.
The fact is he came in facing the worst economic crisis of a generation. Right. He steered the course. We were expecting soup
So he had 2 years to figure out what he had to do. What did he do in the last 2 years?
Let me finish, Congressman. He asked me to make the case. Let me finish. We've gotten out of one war. We're getting out of a number. He killed the terrorist mastermind of our generation. How much do you want? He saved General Motors. What more do you want from the guy?
Saved General Motors at what cost?
What more do you want from the guy?
General Motors could have gone bankrupt, and it would have been cheaper to buy cars. He gave it away to the unions.
Mitt Romney's had an evolving position, and his position with restrictions where he'd like to see Roe v. Wade overturned, that doesn't even go as far as at least what Paul Ryan had said previously, which was that basically at conception is life and you have to protect it without exceptions. It's going to come up. If you're Mitt Romney, do you just acknowledge, yeah, I've changed my positions a lot over the years, but this is where I am? Or do you try and say I've been consistent with this the whole time?
No, obviously it's reality. He has changed, and he's got to justify why he had a new awakening, and it can't be just politics. So it's an issue that he has to deal with. But
is
you know
it connected
what?
with a personal story, you think?
Well, I think that could work, but I think the big issue here is that not a lot of people are going to use that as a litmus test to vote for the president. There are some people, a very small number, that will do that, but It's the economy.
See,
I wholeheartedly-
It's the economy.
I promise we'll get to the economy. But my
I
sense is,
wholeheartedly
guys,
disagree.
listen, the
No.
four of us at this table, we've been following this stuff for the better
Social
part of a year.
issues are
Yeah.
not going to be dominant in
I
this race.
so disagree with you. I think for a generation of women in this country, that is one of those issues that is a human rights issue for them. It's control over their body
Fine.
and their reproductive rights.
They want
and
a job.
what
They
the
want
Romney
jobs for their
campaign
kids.
is suggesting.
They got kids coming back home.
What the Romney
They got
campaign
kids
is
that get out of
suggesting
school with an
is going
education,
back
can't get
to
a job.
time where women have to go across state lines to get an abortion. That's what they're suggesting going back to, Congressmember.
Let's give some last-minute advice here. Bullet points. You got the candidate. You're going to close the door. You and Mitt Romney, Congress. You say, all right, I'm going to tell you 3 things to remember tonight. Give me the 3 things.
Well, I would go back to that debate 4 years ago and take one of those promises that Obama made and say that I can fulfill it. And the one that Obama made said he's going to go through that budget line by line. He was not qualified to do that.
Okay,
He was in the
so
Senate 2 years.
bullet point one is
bullet
go
point one
through-
is
right.
act who you are, Mitt. You are a CEO. A commander-in-chief you can become. If Obama can do it as a community worker and 2 years in the Senate, that's easy. What we need now is someone that's going to run the federal government, that's going to get into that budget line by line. That's what he's done. That's his background.